Hello, welcome to another episode of Now You See Me, the show where we redefine beauty from the inside out. And today I have a special guest, Katarina Rolincova. She is from the Slovak Republic, used to be Czechoslovakia. And I invited her on because sometimes we think we're dealing with hair issues, we look at it from the vantage point of the West or what's happening in the United States. But women all over the world are dealing with some of the very same issues. So, without further ado, hello, Kat. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Jeannette, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, I just want us, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you do. Tell us a little bit about yourself in general.
So I'm from Slovakia, as you said. I'm 35 years old. I grew up in a small village, let's say town. And since my university studies, I live abroad. I used to study philology in France and Italy. I have a double master degree in the literature and languages.
Wow.
And since that time, actually, since I'm 18, I live constantly abroad. So I used to live in 6 different countries around the world. I visited more than 55 countries so far. So I consider myself as a global citizen, which also
Oh,
helps in this alopecia journey, I would say.
wow. You are my kind of person. Seriously. Wow. At 18, you just started just kind of left the house and just went and did what you needed to do, huh?
Definitely. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So
I
at the
like I
moment,
say
yeah,
what
I'm in
I'm
Germany.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So currently, I'm living in Germany for almost 5 years now, and yeah, I'm teaching Zumba for free as a pop-up classes on the street for everyone who passed by the Main River. I'm also teaching at university for university students, mostly girls, and I have also a children class. That's how I spend my time after having typical 9 to 5 p.m. job.
Wow. Wow. Actually, it sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful and freeing. Like you were just really, really enjoying your life, really, really doing what you want to do because you seem very happy, with everything that's going on. And did you say 55 or 65 countries?
55 countries so far.
Okay.
I think I
Okay.
stopped counting.
Goals. Those are
Yes.
goals for me.
I don't have any bucket list, or I stopped counting. It's not important. I try to just to visit my friends that I made all along the journey. So
Okay.
kind of see the reality through the eyes of the people who live in a unknown place, for example.
That sounds wonderful. But I what drew my attention to you on social media was your beautiful bald head. And I was like, okay. And then she's from a different country. And I would just love for you to just kind of talk to us about your story and how did you come to be bald or decide that you wanted to cut your hair?
Mm, it's it's still let's say I would try to not to be so emotional, right? I don't want to cry because once I cry, then you won't understand what I'm saying.
Just try to get through it as best you can. You got some tissues? You got,
No, my hands are sweating actually.
okay.
I am not bald by choice, and if I would have a magic stick, I would change it. Um, so I used to wear a lot of wigs and foulard, and this changed maybe when I was at the age of 20. Uh, Self acceptance journey is still ongoing. I have a dark moment like everyone and dark periods, and it's not always easy. I suffer from alopecia since uh, already 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey so far. So I was born with a atopic eczema, and also with a lactose intolerance. Why I'm saying that is that because of my skin issues, I used to go regularly on some cure or therapies for a month. And when I was 7 years old, was spending 1 month in this special cure house where they check regularly your body and etc. And they realized I was starting to lose the hair. First, in the back of my head, just little patches like a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't put much importance into that. I was 7.
Wow.
And at the age of 9, I lost all my hair. I remember my mom cut my hair because the hair were everywhere. I used to have a very long, dark brown hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand what was going on at that point. I was in this pre-adolescent time, right?
Right.
I did not
Right.
really had any filter or just not. I don't remember being upset or crying. Where my hair, very strong emotional emotional accident was when I used to play piano and perform. There was no
Mm-hmm.
way to cover the patches, and I realized how I should hold my head to not to show that I don't have a hair, etc. So I stopped to play piano.
So were you a young child as you were playing the piano and everything?
Yes,
Oh,
and I was
okay.
performing. Yes. Mm.
Right. I'm just trying to get the picture of you being 9 years old and
Yes,
having to deal
exactly.
with
Yeah.
this.
I was
Wow.
performing in the big hall for like 500 or 1,000 people, right? And
Mhm.
everyone is staring at you, and you should have a nice haircut. And so the patches were all over, and I could not really cover them properly. At that point, I quit the musical school, and I tried to cope with the situation with a wig for a long time. Entire primary school, I was wearing a wig, and I remember children, they're always cruel to me. They didn't want to touch me, or because they thought it was something they can catch themselves, right?
Right, right,
um,
right. Because they didn't know. They didn't know, and you really didn't really understand it fully yourself. Wow.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. But I'm grateful that it happened before the
Mhm.
adolescent time. Let's say since
Right.
10, like when I was 10, I started to wear a wig and trying to play like I'm normal.
Mhm.
And it was tough. I think the to find friends or being accepted, this is still something which I'm working on, because you are different. You want or you don't want it, you are different. And although it's
Yes.
just a physical handicap, I call it physical handicap, it's a
Yeah.
huge mental it has a huge mental impact on you.
It does. It does, especially at that young age, because you always think that people are looking at you like the children looked at you.
Mm.
And I mean, it's a trauma. It's a trauma situation. It's an emotional situation, like you were saying. And but do you really think it helped having to deal with it at that young age, or do you think it added to maybe more mental issues because you didn't understand what was happening?
I think it helped me. It helped me to have it so early in the stage where uh, I did not really understand what was going on. I remember my parents were very down, and I was spoiled child. I had an older sister, but all the attention was me and my problems. So I get always what I wanted. I played
Yeah.
around, I turned it around. But I think I'm grateful it happened so early, because first boyfriend, first kiss, everything comes already with this face that you see.
Oh wow.
So
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
managed those steps quite good, actually, I must say. I'm grateful it happened so quickly. I'm not regretting. I don't even remember how was it to touch my hair, and
Mhm.
I found that it's better and easier for me now at the moment at this stage where I am.
So, okay. So basically, you're letting us know that all of the steps that adolescents go through with the first kiss and the dating and all of that uh, happen normally for you because I guess, progressively became comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, exactly. Although I was wearing foulard or wigs, right?
Right.
I I could not 100% hide it at that time. Let's say 25 years ago in the Slovak market, the wigs were not so nice like nowadays. There were no
Oh,
fake
yeah.
eyelashes. There were no tattoos, eyebrows
Mhm.
tattoos or something like that. So in when I look at myself in the mirror, I was like, okay, I see it. I understand. I mean, Yeah, it was so visible at that time. I could not cover it 100%. So with someone like me, they said, okay, she has a weekend, and what? The life is can continue, right?
So, with the diagnosis, what type of medical treatments did they give you in your country, in your area? What did they do exactly? Because I know in the West they always put these topical creams, or they'll inject our scalp with needles or something like that. And so that's mostly what happens over in the West. What happens in your
In
end of
my
the world?
country, yes, there was a phototherapy based on some special lights which stopped the, or let's say, I had my few hairs longer for a longer time instead of losing them rapidly, let's say. And injections as well. I got carboxyl injection, sort of revitalization of the skin. Obviously, they did a biopsy, or they check if I have still some little onions there of the hair, and everything was pretty much normal. And I went through a lot of diets, let's call it, like gluten lactose free, or you have some fat
Oh,
type diet, which destroys my body, I would say, and my shape, my form. And I do believe that we are what we eat, but
mm-hmm.
somehow hair never come back. So it's very disappointing. Still, I am actually. I take care of my food, but I can't really bring my hair back. Recently, I tried the new medication, the Olumiant, sorry,
Okay,
GracetoFITG,
what is it called now? I never heard of it.
Olumiant.
I'll it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's a new
So,
medicine you can get for like almost €4,000 per month.
okay, okay.
There are some trials which are very
I'll
successful. I ordered it on the black market, and it's a yak inhibitor, and it was working pretty well. I took it for half a year, but as a side effect, I could not sleep.
You said you could not sleep.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
let's value hair or sleep. Hair or sleep.
I
Obviously, I
know. Sleep.
value my sleep.
I choose sleep. I choose sleep too. But yeah, I never heard of it. Alamita. Is that what you said? Alamita.
Olumiant with O for Oscar. Olumiant.
Oh, Omiat. Omiat. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. I have
you
to look
heard
that
about
up and see. I have to look that up and see what happens and see if we have that kind of thing over the West. But
it. Yeah,
at
the
the
problem
same
is
time, say
yeah,
what
the
now?
insurance doesn't cover it. That's the only inconvenience.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. But a lot of things happened for you when you were young. So it's your transition was different from everybody else's. I know that when you're older, like most of us, things happen when we were older, and then there was a big transition from hair to um no hair. So I know you mentioned your parents in terms of how were they, I guess, what did you pick up? What vibe did you pick up from them regarding their baby losing their hair?
They feel
Losing
sorry
her hair,
most of
rather.
the time, and they also were like, "Okay, you need to wear a wig just to blend." Like,
Oh,
family reunion, weddings, all kind of job interview, or working even for some conferences, or big messe fair, like a job fair and stuff. I was a hostess, so obviously you have skirt, high heels, and wig on. This is the
mhm.
standard because you catch so much attention. So then we will not sell the
Mm. Okay. Okay. Well, I can see that. I can see that. I can also see that maybe if people saw your hair, they will be drawn to whatever the situation was as well. But yeah, it's curious to see how family reacts. What about your siblings? I know you said that you were spoiled and you kind of got your way about some things. So,
My
did,
sister was boyish. I was the one playing with the dolls. She was the one
uh,
playing with the toys, cars,
oh
and boys. And she always had a short hair. Like, I mean,
yeah, okay.
yeah. Now she has the long hair, but I mean, we are very close. But I felt a little bit sorry, to be honest. Like, all my attention was at me, and she was like kind of making her own way.
Mhm.
We just have like 2 years apart, so we are very close.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad. Because sometimes when you're dealing with family, sometimes they're very supportive and sometimes they really don't know how to react to the changes that are happening in you and they take things personally. But right now, if you're talking to a little girl who's about 8 or 9, and I've seen a lot since I've been doing um dealing with people with alopecia, dealing with people with the lupus or anything else, that there are a lot of children that are dealing with this. There's a lot of children. What would you say to another 9-year-old girl to encourage her?
You will get through it no matter what. I mean, there is a light in the end of the tunnel. That's how I feel. And last year, I welcomed one girl with alopecia in my house, not knowing. And I look at myself like how I was at that age. She was not even
Mhm.
able to take off the wig in front of me.
Mm.
14-year-old, we slept together. I mean, I tried to comfort her. I will never push someone towards to taking it off. It's such a
Mm.
sensitive issue. Maybe it takes you a lifetime to take it off. Maybe you will never.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything has the time, and then step by step you get through it. And if the week makes you happy, like just wear it.
Right, right. And I do know some people like that. Me, it just kind of irritates my scalp, and plus it's getting hot over here because you are 2 hours literally from me.
Yeah.
And
So
but
really,
no, we don't do that. We don't do the
you have a
we
light
don't do
oven.
the wigs. Oh, you cooking? You cooking? Oh, that's right.
That's my pizza.
That's your pizza. Okay. We
So I don't want to burn it. I made my own dough. I do it from the scratch all the time.
uh-huh.
Uh, Friday, Friday is the best.
Oh, okay. So you said you make your pizza from scratch. Do you normally do that with all your food? I know you just mentioned that how mindful you are of what you eat.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Everything homemade.
Oh wow. Wow. I have to invite you back some cooking recipes for some of us. Some
Oh,
homemade remedies. That would be great. I think that would be a
I
good
just got
idea.
I just got from Scotland amazing recipe for a brownie with a Guinness beer. It's the top.
Oh, wow. Okay, most definitely we'll be talking, Kat. But also too, I know that you were involved with a lot of well, not a lot, and one in particular with the community and some social no, it's a social organization through uh I think you said Indonesia? Indonesia?
Yes, it was. Yes, correct. It was in Indonesia, so I spent the entire month of February in Indonesia. I was so glad to get a holiday from my boss and my company because it's
Mhm.
not very standard to get 5 weeks consecutive holiday. And I was partially in a Buddhistic temple in order to learn how to meditate, and the other half of the trip I did voluntary work through the Workaway organization. I was living in a house of the principal of the school and also volunteering as a Zumba teacher.
Okay.
And obviously, education is something which matters for me, and we should start to educate, right, our
Yes.
future generation as soon as possible. And I was also advocating about alopecia because so many people saw my bald head, and I would, you would be surprised. No one even asked what I'm going. I have the experience that the countries like Africa, India, the
Mm,
people in this, let's say, countries where they are about to get developed and so on, they don't really care. And I feel so good there, and I blend very well. No one cares. There are so many people there. They are used to on so much differences. So I felt very good accepted. And I was teaching there 5 hours a day in almost 40 degrees Zumba in a primary school, which was mostly Muslim.
mm-hmm.
It was a nice experience there, and I
Wow.
hope I can do it every year. To be
Okay. All right. So nobody was staring and were wondering. No.
Nobody even asked for a reason. They were not
Okay.
curious. This is not the first time. I've been in India or some African countries as well, right? I was in Iran and Middle East. No one really asked for this.
Wow.
I must be honest, the worst country where I suffered the most was in Italy. Italy,
Italy.
the beauty standard is just incredibly high and it's still ongoing. The appearance,
Oh, okay.
something which matters.
That I can see. I can, the Italian. I can see that. I can see that. But I would like for you to leave a seed for us today. Um, Not only for the 9-year olds, but for the teenagers, for the people who are now, I guess, stuck. Because you clearly, Kat, are not a person who's stuck. I mean, you're vibrant, you've lived your life, you are a traveler, and you kind of living life by your own standards. So I need you to plant a seed into some people today. What do you want to say to them most right now?
Janet, I think the social media is the key at the moment. This is what is
Hmm.
helping me and what helped me a couple of years ago and what you are doing at the moment. So the awareness, spreading the all the information about alopecia. Put yourself there. Check Instagram, check the post bios, all the girls. And I mean, I was touched by the whole movement in the USA. I mean, there are so many nice projects. There are some alopecia connections podcast. Just
Hmm.
there are so many of us, and there's a huge community out there. You just need to find a way to connect with them. I
Hmm.
met the random people from Facebook, and I stayed 10 days in Norway without knowing these people, but just going through the same make us so close, and I
Yeah.
can rely on them. So I would say just put yourself there, check, and social media and Facebook and all those things can help you. It's really to go out of your shell if you need that.
Yo, wow. So I do know you mentioned something about a group of people. I did see, I believe it was called facial awareness day or something like that. Can you explain that a little bit? I know I got it wrong. I got it wrong, but what is it called again?
It was it was last week, so it was actually the week of facial equality. Let's put it that
Ah,
way.
facial equality. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was amazing. It was the second year. It was actually happening. It was a gathering of all kind of special facial, let's say, features or differences. And this year it was held in Prague. The meeting, which I was very proud to be a part of. We were doing some dances and hip hop, and also some facial yoga, and I felt it was amazing. I mean, just to be part of the community, it's something which is priceless. I mean, try to go and surround yourself with the positive people, and
Yes.
that it will make your life more easy, and it affects you, and you will be then successful. Right? It has a long term.
Got you. I got you.
Mm.
Well, it sounded wonderful. Now, I may kind of look into it next year. Y'all, they have it every year, right? You're telling, okay. I might look into it. Are there English speaking events there too, people? Okay. Okay. All right. I most definitely would want to look into that. But Katarina, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to share a little bit of your story, or you coming on rather to share some of your story, and we getting these wonderful insights from uh, you and all the nuggets that you have just poured in just a few minutes to a lot of people. And I know people will be inspired by what you said.
Thank
So
you, thank you, Janet.
well, everybody, thank you so much. This has been another episode of Now You See Me, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
If you're looking for a life coach, go to www.JeannetteMJones.com and sign up for a free 15-minute complimentary session. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. When I first started my television show, I was terrified. One, because it was uncharted territory. And another reason was because of the name itself. Now you see me. It gave the air of transparency. And I wasn't sure if I was ready for everybody to see me. But I said yes. And it's been a journey that I will never forget nor regret. It was maturing. It caused me to open up. It caused me to not be afraid of my feelings. It was fun to create. Even if some of the topics, I will be honest, I didn't really want to talk about, but I felt in my heart of hearts that that's what I was supposed to be talking about that week. But as you go through one thing and you're at one level, then God puts you in a position where you go to the next level. I have a channel, Filling in the Gap, and the name itself speaks volumes. It means that we're going to be filling in the spaces and giving people information that's going to move them from point A to point B. I know in my life, it seems like I was right there on the edge of something always. And then somebody came by to give me what I needed to push me on to the next level. And that's what I want for this channel. So if you are a person that feels like God has called you and you have a vision, you have something to share with the people. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be cooking, it could be exercise, it could be whatever. But you're really, really feeling like what you have is what somebody else needs. Then you may be the person that's perfect for this channel. Click on the link, fill in your information, and you will get a link to the session via email. Okay? So I am looking forward to talking to you. I am looking forward to talking to you, and I'm excited for you. I'm very excited for you because I know on the other end, there's just people recognizing your brilliance. Go ahead, sign up.